Hey gang, this is Ryan Cozy. I hope and pray that everybody is doing well. Wanted to give a brief update in regard to something that I'm going to be participating in. I'm actually going to be walking this weekend, a 5K walk for the American Heart Association here in Western New York, also known as the AHA Heart Walk. It's going to be held at Canal Side in downtown Buffalo, and so it's kind of an up-and-coming area in the city of Buffalo, which is experiencing a revitalization. And so I'm actually really excited to participate with members of our church, to be a partner to AHA and to Geico, which is a neighbor in our business park that we're personally just trying to neighbor well with, establish some relationships with, and ultimately hope to build those relationships to a point where we can share the gospel with them. Even though we're in a business park, we're a church, and we want to see the gospel go forward and neighbor well. The reason for my email to you all is that the AHA had asked me to just reach out to people that were in my social sphere of influence. And so I looked on Facebook, and I have 1,000 friends as it is listed in Facebook. And one of the pockets that I realized I hadn't really reached out to was to fellow h2o alum. If you're from Bowling Green State University or an h2o partner church, the reality is h2o as a church, as a name and as an idea, was kind of founded in Bowling Green. And so I personally have a great affinity for h2o Church. I know that as a former staffer at h2o and a continual member of employment, even though part-time, with Great Commission Ministries, also known as Reliant, I just have great memories with h2o and h2o partners. And so right now I'm actually trying to raise $125 to get to my goal, which is $1,000 of money raised for the AHA. If anybody is familiar with Western New York, you will know that the city of Buffalo is a great food town. But because it's a great food town, it typically means that most of the food that we eat here is incredibly unhealthy. Thus, it tastes delicious. And so heart disease is a very real thing in Western New York. And in my own family, I've had people be affected by heart attacks, bypass surgeries, stuff like that. And so heart disease is something that's affected my own family. And so in the effort to neighbor well with Geico and the AHA, I wanted to ask you to help me as fellow h2o alumni to perhaps contribute a gift on my behalf for the American Heart Association Heart Walk. The walk is this Saturday. I've got about $125 left to raise to get to my goal. I'd love to make it to my goal. And people have given anywhere from $10 in a one-time gift up to, I actually had a friend give $250 recently, a high school friend. And so I'm very grateful for all the support that I've gotten thus far. And I would just love to ask any of my h2o friends, will you help me get to $1,000? I've got $125 more to go, and I would be grateful for any and all support. Now, I realize that Toledo and Bowling Green in general is kind of a middle point between the University of Michigan and the Ohio State University. And yes, I'm wearing Michigan gear, and so I know that my team has taken it on the chin for a number of years over the last 10 years or so. It kind of reminds me of like when I was growing up and John Cooper was the head coach at the Ohio State University, and those were good times for me. They're very lean times for me right now, and I have a feeling that this year is going to be a very lean time for me as well. So please don't hold my love for the University of Michigan against me, but would you prayerfully consider a gift on my behalf? I'd be so grateful. Any and all h2o alum that I know and have been connected with, I love you, I miss you. I know that we're scattered through all parts of the country, and for some of us, we're even in different parts of the world. But I would be so grateful for any and all support that you would consider giving. I will put a link below this video that takes you to my AHA Heart donation page, which is where you can give a gift if you would feel so led. Thanks so much, gang. I miss you all. I look forward to connecting with you all in some capacity here. I know I'll see a handful of you over the next few months, just in some of the travels that I'm doing. But for most of you that I don't get to see, I miss you a great deal. Would appreciate any and all help that you can give. God love you, gang. God bless you, and may the road rise to meet you. Be well.